This is episode 584, and today we're going to be talking about a very prominent topic in today's world is burnout. So we're going to discuss some ways to stop burnout before it starts. And again, this is a topic that is coming up quite often with all of my clients about burnout. Burnout can significantly affect your mind and your body, causing you to suffer from exhaustion, anxiety, even depression. And this is more true today. And, from a coaching perspective, I'm not sure why the burnout is so relevant now. We've gone through COVID. There's some stress, mental stress around it. And then there's the physical stress around it. But we're going to go through some of those topics right now. But if you don't make changes, burnout can lead to even more severe health problems such as heart attacks, strokes, and even things, that can significantly affect your health on multiple levels. So in order to avoid burnout, it's important to get into a habit of recognizing its warning signs so you can stop before it begins. And in this day and age, this time frame, it might be that everything is a warning sign. However, there are some significant warning signs that you can pay attention to that says, hey, I'm approaching this. Even some relatively simple life changes may make it more likely for you to avoid burnout altogether. So here I'm going to go through some tips. These are tips that I go through with my clients, written some posts about. And again, these are just tips. These are not the be all to end all to stop burnout. But before I go into these tips, remember burnout, you cannot point to the external world and say there is burnout. You cannot put burnout in a wheelbarrow. So you can't touch it, you can't feel it. So knowing that burnout is a state of mind and it's our mind, and that we can control that feeling of burnout, knowing that we are in control of it, as opposed to saying the external world is in control of it. Because if we give our power to the external world concerning burnout or anything else, we've lost all our power to change it. So first we need to realize that change is within us. The perception of burnout is within us. And when we develop the mental strength to control our circumstances, control our emotions, control what we can control, burnout will lessen. So first we need to know that we have to own the feeling of burnout and also own the recipe to change it. So first tip is, and we're going to be talking about burnout, mainly at work, but this can also be if you are at home or don't have a job right now. But analyze your workload, specifically at work. We often are approached with tasks, with special projects, and the conversation goes, oh, it'll only take a few hours to get this done. Can you do it? And we say yes. So we put it on our plate. We put it on our plate. We put it on our plate. Realize your workload. Notice the key, your workload. Again, owning the responsibility of it. It's like going to a buffet, taking a plate and keep putting food and food and food and food on it. It keeps overflowing. It's falling on the floor. You're the one putting it on your plate. So when you analyze your plate before it gets full, you go, oh, you know what? My plate's full. I can't put any more on it. Or my plate's almost full. I want to leave some time. I'm not going to put any more on it. When you go to a buffet table, you do this. Do this at work. Analyze your workload. That is, what can be delegated. Steve Covey uses the Eisenhower matrix, which is important and urgent. If it's important and urgent, it means it's done by you, can only be done by you. It has to be done now. So analyze your workload, prioritize it, delegate what you can, and maybe just forget about what the things aren't really that are not important and that not that urgent. Avoid exhaustion. We keep going throughout the day. We sit at the desk and we go from 8 o'clock to lunch. We eat lunch at our desk. We go to 5. We come home and we're completely exhausted. So there's a Pareto method, which means you work for an hour, 90 minutes, and then you take 10 to 20-minute break. It would be great if you could get into that rhythm of every hour, get up, walk. This way we keep movement, and movement circulates the blood, so you can avoid exhaustion. So the more you can get up on a regular basis, I would suggest no more than 2 hours sitting without getting up and taking a break, preferably 90. Perfect situation would be every 60 minutes, get up, walk around for just 5 minutes. That's all you need. And this will help avoid exhaustion, as well as proper hydration, proper nutrition. You don't want to come to the office and feeling low at around 10 o'clock and go grab a bag of M&Ms and smash those down. That's going to contribute to your feeling of exhaustion. So avoiding exhaustion prevention, and that is movement, getting up and movement, and your focus time is limited, and your hydration is extremely important. So take in consideration those things. Change. Also, change is good. If you've been working on one topic or one thing for a while, and you have other things to work on, stop what you're doing and move to the other things. It'll help stimulate the brain. It'll create a new stimulus. It'll create new interest. It'll create new focus. So change is good. Not just change, to go from work to home, but change in the work environment. And this can be, this can go hand in glove with avoiding exhaustion. If you're lucky enough to work like on a campus environment, get outside, walk around the building, come back in. One, it's change. You're seeing the outside, you're breathing some fresh air, you're getting some sun, and you're avoiding exhaustion. And it would take you no more than 5 minutes, most likely. But if you're focused on the same task continuously, change it up. Change what you're looking at, change what you're hearing, change it so it re-stimulates your brain. Take breaks. We've talked about this as avoid exhaustion, but avoiding exhaustion can include a lot of things, including breaks. But we talked about hydration, nutrition, but taking breaks. Find a rhythm. If you tend to find yourself, quote, forgetting to take a break, put it in your calendar. Or there's a Pareto timer you can put to run in the background that says every 90 minutes, remind me to take a break. If you have a Fitbit or a smartwatch, it usually buzzes or vibrates every hour to make sure you get up and move. But taking a break. So the avoid exhaustion would be like a 5-minute get up. Taking a break is 15 minutes. Get up, go someplace else, hydrate, nutrition, talk with some people, go outside, get some fresh air. It's when we look at the day and the week, most people think these things are marathons. They're not. A marathoner goes on to exhaustion. A sprinter runs, takes a break, relaxes, recovers, sprints again. So we want to look at our day as a series of sprints divided into 60, 90, 120 minutes, and then we take a break. And look at a sprinter's physique. They're healthy, they're strong, they're vibrant. Everything is so massive. And there's nothing, I'm not putting marathon runners down if you are one, because there's a certain type of physical ability and mental ability to do that. But they don't take breaks. And so we're talking about how to recover, how to prevent burnout. And so we want to take those breaks. Ask for help. This is where coaching comes in, or a support group at work or someplace. Just ask for help, going, hey, I'm overwhelmed. I need some help. And just keep asking till you get it, right? We really need to focus on getting that help that we deserve. A closed mouth never gets fed. So we want to make sure that we ask for the help we want and be very specific as to what. When you go, I need some help with what? I don't know, just everything's overwhelming. No, when you go upstream in your organization, make a list. I need help with this, this, and this, because here's my time frames, and it's going to take me this long. You go there with an exact solution, and even if you ask for help, meaning offload some work, come with a solution that this person would be great at it. This person would be great at it. But avoid going and saying, I need help, I'm burned out. Well, they're going to go with what? And we want to be able to articulate it correctly. Learn to say no. This is probably, out of everything here, this is probably the biggest thing that you can exercise is your no muscle. Personal boundaries, professional boundaries. Often we don't want to say no because we think we're going to get a bad review, we're going to be fired, they'll think less of us, whatever the stories are. And those are all stories, and those are all limiting beliefs that I help my clients with. But when you say no, you're saying yes to yourself. You're saying, yes, I want to get the work done that's on my plate right now. Yes, I want to be efficient. Yes, I want to be effective. Yes, I want to be healthy. Yes, I want to be motivated. Yes, when you're saying no, you're saying yes to all of those things. And when you say no, there's many ways of saying no, but when you say no professionally and even refer, hey, thanks for that offer to do that projects. I just don't have any room on my plate now. And Sally would be a great person to talk to. Then you've given the person, a solution to their problem because they're trying to find somebody to do that work, and you've done it professionally. And if you have too much on your plate, you just go, you know what? I really can't take any more. I'm done. This is it. My plate is overflowing. As a matter of fact, it's spilling on the floor. I have to say no to this. And when you say no, and you can articulate it in a way that is understandable to your upstream. When it's a person, when it's outside of work, this may sound challenging, but you don't have to give an explanation. If somebody says, hey, can you help me move? No, I really can't. Or no, thank you. Right? You don't have to give an explanation, because when we give an explanation after we say no, is because we feel guilty. Why are you feeling guilty for protecting your own energy, for protecting your own time, for protecting your own boundaries? So again, there are proper ways of saying no, but at work, just because of the political nature of it, when we say no, we want to be able to articulate as to a reason so our upstream, our boss, our VP, our C-level, whatever, understands why we are saying no as opposed to just saying no. Outside of that, yes, it's polite to say no and explain why, but think about it. We're explaining it because we don't want that person to think bad of us. We're doing it to protect our image, when in reality we should be protecting our time, because then the challenge is when you say no and you give a reason, then that person goes, oh, that's okay. Let's just move it to 8 o'clock tonight then, and then you can help me. And then you really don't want to help them. And now your excuse is gone. So this is a mental strength exercise. When somebody outside of work asks you to do something, just respond no or no, thank you, without an explanation. And then, yes, we may need to take time to vent, and that's what therapy is for. Counselors, coaches, even employee assistant programs. You can call up a therapist there and just vent. However, we don't want to set up camp. We just want to vent like a tea kettle, vent the steam, turn down the heat, and then be able to move on with our day. We don't want to spend time after time, minutes, hours, days, weeks on venting about how much we have too much to do. We just want to vent it, understand it, come up with a solution, and then move on. So just keep in mind that in the end, the most important tips is to listen to what your inner self is telling you. You know when you're approaching burnout, you know when you should slow down, and you know when to stop. If you've taken on too much, make a list and figure out the most important things that need to get done. This is where the Eisenhower matrix comes in extremely handy. Important and urgent. There's a combination of important and urgent and not urgent, urgent and not important and not urgent. And you could put them into a category of 1, 2, 3, 4, and do that and get that stuff done. Other stuff will have to wait, or someone else will have to come to complete those tasks, right? If you prioritize it and you don't have enough time in the day to do it, and you've been working overtime, and whether you're getting paid or not, but if you're putting in the time, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. They're not going to build a statue of you in front of the office building because you stayed a month of overtimes. Trust me, they're not going to do that. So you need to take care of yourself, and you will, by taking care of yourself and stopping burnout before it starts, you will become a more efficient and effective employee or entrepreneur or solopreneur. These are just a few strategies to stop burnout in the tracks and enjoy your life. Like I said, there's many, many more. When you get personal coaching with me or somebody else, there'll be a customized approach to that. But take action. At least take action today and implement these tips, and soon you'll be free from the crushing pressure of burnout. It will work. You follow these, it will work. If you want to see the show notes on this, you can visit warriormindcoach.com. You'll see the show notes. You can find other podcasts, other blog posts, and a way to contact me. And since you'll be on the internet, please follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest under Warrior Mind Coach.